we encourage our students to do is not hurry too fast through it, because this kind of educational commitment is about transformation. And transformation is not an overnight process. It's something that they're on a road to become something different, something ready for their next steps in their career. So we don't encourage them to rush through it, to take the time to get through their milestones and to relish those experiences. We say it's the hardest fun they're ever going to have, and it's an opportunity for them to become a member of another group in our profession.
Welcome to APTA Orthopedics Podcast, where we help you stay ahead in orthopedic physical therapy. I'm your host, Luciano Garcia, and today I'll be talking with Sharon Wang Price and Phil Sizer about getting your terminal degree, SCD versus PhD. Don't forget to subscribe for future episodes. Let's get started. To start, please introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about yourself. Let's start with Sharon.
Sure. I am Sharon Wang Price, a faculty member at Texas Women's University Physical Therapy Program in Dallas. I started my academic career about 8 months after I received my PhD degree. So I have been with the TWU for about 25 years. I am coordinator of post-professional program, oversee PhD program in Dallas.
Great. And Phil?
Greetings, Phil Sizer. I'm finishing my 35th year here at Texas University Health Sciences Center. I'm an endowed professor in pain science. I'm also serving now as AVP for Research Innovation here at the university. I've had the distinct pleasure to start and lead the SCD program for several years, and then was Associate Dean for Research for a while in our school, and now get a chance to do this university-wide service role. I am a clinician scientist, and I'm a fellow with the FAAOMPT. I'm a manual therapist, and my area of great interest in research is in the areas of sensory-motor control and learning with musculoskeletal conditions, and I love to keep my head in the pain science area as well. So it's great to be here, and thanks for inviting us to do this, Luciano.
Great. This is my pleasure. Well, let's start with this question. When or who should get either one of these terminal degrees? What do y'all think?
I think a PT who are interested into pursuing a career in academics really need to look into, it doesn't matter in research or teaching or leadership position. I think it's best for them to think about going to pursue the terminal doctoral degree, particularly people are interested in research. I think they really need to consider a PhD degree.
Yeah, I see the world very similar to Sharon. We've known each other for a long time, and I've had the opportunity to be involved with both the PhD program and the SCD program at Texas Tech simultaneously. So when a student comes here, we're really interested in learning from them what they want to become. They come in now, they're coming in with their DPT, and they're trying to seek more, trying to learn more things they can do to improve not only their role in the university or in the clinical space, but also grow as professionals. And I don't think there's one is better than the other. I think it's more about for whom, where, when, how much, what do they want to spend their time doing? And so we have the opportunity to advise them either direction, depending on what the answer to those questions are. And so when a person joins the discussion and wants to learn where they go, I think that if they want to have a career in research, that the PhD makes a lot of sense for them, because they're going to be pushed in certain directions that are more oriented towards that academic career. If they want to go into a career in research and industry, which is a growing opportunity here, again, I think the PhD would be a really great opportunity for them. If they want to have a terminal degree with the same level of academic academic rank as the PhD, but more towards becoming a not only specialization clinically, but also become a collaborative researcher or a clinical educator or a person involved in the education aspect of the academic space. The SCD could be equally as valuable, and we've seen that when the students come to us, they really find their way to the degree that's best suited for what they want to do. They can certainly be a researcher. We got plenty of very successful researchers out in not only the clinical space, but also academic space as SCDs. And they, in our program here in the SCD program, they also get, they do a dissertation, they get the experience many times working with PhD students and or PhD faculty and or SCD faculty. So I don't think they can go wrong towards that direction. The folks who come in here for SCD end up getting this well-rounded experience that can make them not only successful collaborative researchers, but also very successful educators in the clinical space.
Great. How about the length of these programs? What do you say, Sharon? How about for the PhD? How long would that take?
Yeah, TW only offer a PhD program. So as Phil alluded to, that PhD is pretty much is a research. So our program it's very focused on the research. So the courses usually emphasize the research design, statistics, as well as grant writing. And so our program actually is a hybrid. We are not full-time on-site program. It's a hybrid program. We have about three or four courses, 100% online. And then we also have, I'm talking about core course. Then about the 6 to 7 core courses as a hybrid. So so in terms of how long the program, and depends on how fast you want to finish the program. For a DPT graduate, the requirements are 50 hours. So we have a student, average is about 4 to 5 years. We have a student only took them 3.5 years. We have a student took up to 8 years. So 8 years, that's our university rule policy. You have to finish your doctoral degree within 8 years.
Great. How about the SCD, Phil? Is there time?
Well, the SCD program, there is a time limit when it's not absolute, but the policy says that the faculty has the option to ask a student to finish by that time. Okay. We get students, because they're working full-time, that SCD is a hybrid program. Mm-hmm. Our PhD program is a full-time program. They come here, it's in residence. We get some students that they'll work in the clinic and do it here, but they're located in the West Texas region. And so that they're spending time with their faculty in the lab on a routine basis to produce an independent researcher who we often encourage to go on and do a postdoc after they get done. We believe that's a really important feature now for persons, for their curriculum when they get out, to have that also on their CV, to make them competitive for these more advanced research roles out in the world. But our SCD students, the vast majority of those are living somewhere else in the world. We get them from the lower 48, Alaska, Central and South America. We get them from Europe. We get students from all over. And they do come here. For each class requires half the classwork's done online, half of it in a 2-day contact session. And we run our contact sessions back to back for 2 classes. So they can come in, take both classes and travel one time for those 2 classes. And they are also going to do a dissertation, but they can do either a research dissertation and or a teaching dissertation. So with those requirements, those students will end up spending anywhere from usually 4+ years, because they're working in the clinic or in an academic setting as a junior faculty member, and then having entered that as a DPT and working on this terminal degree to help them with their advancement. They can go up to 7 or 8 years. We try to encourage them to get done sooner, And as a DPT graduate, that's not too tough because it's 48 hours. So it's going to depend on the group. But our hours requirement for PhD is longer. But again, they can also transfer some of their hours in from their DPT. So it's just a different world, a different goal, a different experience, and they're both valid. We just try and learn what they want to do and encourage those things.
Great. You both mentioned working clinicians and hybrid programs. What would you say are general time commitments that an orthopedic clinician who wanted to pursue either one of the degrees, how much time per week or per month or per semester they have to put in to get finished?
I think Phil and I probably have pretty much a very similar answer. It really depends on how fast they want to go through the program, right? Yeah, and it sounds like the ScD and our PhD are both a hybrid program. So if they can take a 6-hour course per semester, they can move this thing along very fast. But if they only can, we have some, I think it sounds like both the programs have some flexibility. So if they only can take 3 hours or sometimes 1 hour independent study, and that's that's all they can do, and they can do that, but they just have to finish it in time. And so I think it's all about the students' their time constraint and their motivation, how fast, how quickly they want to finish the program.
Yeah, and I concur with what Sharon's saying. I will say one of the things we encourage our students to do is not hurry too fast through it, because this kind of educational commitment, I'm certain it's the same over at TWU, is about transformation. And transformation is not an overnight process. It's something that where they're on a road to become something different, something ready for their next steps in their career. So we don't encourage them to rush through it, to take the time to get through their milestones and to relish those experiences. We say it's the hardest fun they're ever going to have, and it's an opportunity for them to become a member of another group in our profession of professionals that are going to help others transform their own experiences, educators, as guides, as faculty in residency and or fellowship programs, and all those experiences take transformation and ready that person for that new experience that ultimately transforms from a focus on success to a focus on significance, where we transform from people who are emphasizing their own success to emphasizing the success of others. So we think that experience, the time spent at that, is well spent.
Yeah, I cannot agree more than that, because researchers try to develop, PhDs try to develop a research skill set. So a lot of times taking courses is not the most important thing. As they actually understand research design, going through the different research project and able to write it up, or even later on able to write a grant proposal for your research agenda, research grant. I think that's most important. Or I think for Science D is, if you are into the teaching, you need to able to develop in the skill set for academic teaching. So taking courses is not the focus on either terminal degree, doesn't matter Science D or PhD. I think most important is, are you able to go to the next level and able to be independent researcher or independent academician.
So true. A hot topic, a recent hot topic is for clinicians is burnout. Do y'all see eventually obtaining one of these degrees helping with that?
I think clinicians burn out, and not necessary they should change their focus of a career. If they are still in love of what they're doing clinically, they especially in the middle or later career, they shouldn't change it to the academic just because they think academic does not have a burnout. Academic has our burnout as well, especially in a lot of academic institutions require heavy teaching. So I think clinicians with who burn out in the clinic probably have to adjust their clinical hours, or they try to adjust their life, we call it the work-life balance, rather than in a hurry trying to change the career path. But that just my thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the other thing that comes to mind with that great question is that often people recognize that it's a privilege that we get to go as humans, continue our learning process. Often people experience that sense of burnout when they flatten in their learning process. And the one thing that either returning to school or getting in a learning experience offers is the chance to continue to grow. And I think the people that want to pursue these things anyways are people that they have the tendency or the bent to want to grow as human beings. And the great thing about continuing on that trail is that we get to learn, and we get to grow as not only as academic people, but we get to grow as clinicians and as humans, and transform and become something different. And so I think that us going through the process of gaining more insight and learning how to not only treat patients better, but also help our younger colleagues grow is to achieve, to get on that trail of learning. And so these degree plans can help them do that. And certainly there are other things that, what I found so interesting is certification is back. That when we were younger clinicians, that was a trail. Then it was exchanged for degrees, and now certification is back. That's another. Certification and microbadging are really great opportunities to continue to grow as clinicians and as researchers and as learners. So it may be that they prime the pump with that first, and then look to go talk to the people at the university of their choice to learn how the process that the university offers can fit where they want to land. So I think people finding ways to enable themselves for learning is a very important part of managing that flattening, that time when they're not feeling like they're growing.
Great. How about for the orthopedic clinician that's listening that is on the fence about pursuing one of these degrees? What are some general advice you two can offer for that clinician?
If you'll allow me to, I think it's really important to ask where you want to be, because it's not like one is better than the other or one is right and the other. We have the chance to advise folks one direction or another, PhD or SCD, all the time. And I believe it's where they want to be. What do they want to do with their day? How do they want to spend it? If they want to spend time in the lab with other faculty and other students, trying to understand, solve problems for patients with the research model, then perhaps the PhD is a great trail. If they want to find a blend between collaborative research and teaching and or communicating and exercising advanced practice, perhaps the SCD is a better solution. There's not a right or wrong. It's about what they want to become. And really looking at even the research agenda of the faculty in each program to learn about their fit with that agenda. I think it's going to be important to consider that.
Yep. I agree with whatever Phil said. Really, you have to ask yourself, what do you want to be when you grow up, right?
Where you want to go?
What do you want to be? And if you want to be a researcher, and the PhD is the way to go. If you want to be a good academician, teaching, or leadership administrator, science may be a better option. So you have to ask yourself what you want to be.
And look at the curricula to say, ooh, I want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I don't know about you, Sharon, I didn't have that option when I was younger. And I went out and had to find the PhD program that would really suit all the variables I was working with. And so when we built the SCD, it actually grew out of an assignment I had in one of my adult learning classes with my PhD. And we said, hey, let's try this. And my chair said, hey, what are you working on in school? I said, okay, that's different. I hadn't been asked that in a while. And so I told him, he said, let me see what you're working on. I said, well, cool. So I just emailed it to him, didn't hear back. And I came and said, we need to offer this. Whoa, what do you mean? He said, let's think about how we could do this to help this group of people grow to that opportunity, grow into that person. I thought, okay, let's go, let's try it. And then our PhD program came around a little bit later, and we've really learned that different ilks of those people wanting to grow end up in different programs. So I think it's about fit, you know?
Mm-hmm. You alluded to this a little bit, Phil, but where can a clinician go and find a good resource on information about all of this stuff we're talking about? Website?
Well, first,
apps?
yeah, email us and we'll get you connected with the right links, but they're also on you can look up SCD in Rehabilitation Sciences at Texas Tech. Now we have OTs and athletic trainers in that program as well, because Texas Tech, it is in our genetics to collaborate. And we believe that the collaboration is really important for growing a successful, whether it be a successful education experience, a successful research experience. We have these different professionals in both programs. I think it's really important. And we also believe that people should change their certainty about things in exchange for curiosity. We want to help people grow their curiosity. And I'm sure Sharon's group wants to do the same. It's about helping people develop an inquiring mind around things. And so they can come and find both programs, PhD in Rehabilitation Science, and a SCD in Rehabilitation Sciences as well on the Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center website. They can just Google it and it'll pop. But if there's any trouble in finding those things, they can either connect with Sharon or I about getting directed to the programs we offer. And we believe there's enough students, enough opportunities for all. And we really I always have the distinct pleasure in hanging out with Sharon because we share so many similar visions and goals on things. And I'm really glad there's a program down there as well at their campuses that can do that. I think there's room for all. So we're excited to have that.
Of course, there are many programs out there, and I do believe APTA have a webpage to include all the professional
all the links.
Links. And like Phil said, a lot of the terminal doctoral degree program is not in physical therapy. As far as my understanding, there are only 6 PhD program in physical therapy. However, most of the terminal doctoral degree for physical therapists are majority in rehab sciences. So they should look into a different area. I think each area has its own, there are pros and cons, right? Rehab science is probably going to work with a lot of the outside PT professionals. You probably take the courses with other professionals, and programs is focused on physical therapy. Probably you probably understand the verbiage better. So there's always a pros and cons on any degree. And I also know a lot of the programs have fast track program. They wanted their own students to stay for their PhD or terminal doctoral degree. So I think just have to ask and go to the different website and find out which one programs is the best fit to you.
Wait, something else that's really cool. I got to talk about this for a minute, if I may. Okay. There is a growing shortage for anatomical sciences professionals to teach anatomy in the world. That is a shrinkage. And we have been able to garner one of the emphasis areas in our PhD program in anatomical sciences in our Institute for Anatomical Sciences. You go look at that website too, and it'll kind of give you a sense of what's happening there. Dr. Carrie Gilbert and colleagues are garnering that fit for those people who want to do that. We have a mission to help raise a new generation of anatomical sciences, scientists and educators for the world. And so that's something else that's out there that's available, and it may be another fit for MSK therapists that want to advance their degree, and so advance their education. So that's another thing to go look at. We want people to land where they're happy and where they think this is a great fit for me, and that could be in any of the number of universities that offer this in our great state, and could be at one of the programs that Sharon and I are talking about. So.
Yeah, funny you say that because our PT faculty not only teach anatomy in PT department, they all teach the anatomy for OT department, like Dr. Luciano Garcia. So I thought that's a very interesting insight there.
Yep,
that's really great. We do similar things here too, so I think we're well suited for that. That's right.
In closing, what are some take to the clinic messages to wrap this podcast up? First from Phil, and then we'll hear from Sharon.
Yeah, I think one thing that's really important is to stay with your clinical roots. That great clinicians make great educators and researchers, and so the choice to do a terminal degree is not a choice of this instead of clinic. It's really important to do that. And that's why I kept my clinical practice active for so many years, was that relevance is really important. And as a fellow, I want to emphasize the need to blend our clinical knowledge, our clinical decision-making, and our expertise with our academic commitments for research, scholarship, and those things. It's that my dad always encouraged me to do that. He said, keep your hand in it. And that is, I think that's really important for our growing new generation of clinical and academic leaders in our professions.
I concur, and so my message to clinicians are that if you want to do self-development and you think you probably have gone through the residency or even fellowship, and you think your career path will be either academician or in research, and you can see yourself it becomes one of the want to work in those environments, I think you should consider a terminal doctoral degree. And I don't think a doctoral DPT degree will get you there. You got to get your terminal doctoral degree in order to get to the next level.
I want to thank both of you for your time and expertise on this topic. Thank you, Sharon Wang Price from Texas Women's University and Phil Sizer from Texas Tech University Health Science Center.
It's a pleasure to be with you all. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to APTA Orthopedics Podcast. We hope you found today's episode informative. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay ahead in orthopedic physical therapy.